You're listening to Never Heard of It, a Night Shift Radio production. Now that I see like your closet door open behind you, Caleb, for those of you watching on YouTube, it just randomly like creaked open a little.
This is right here.
Yeah, I fully expect like a little goblin to come out, other than Penelope.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if Penelope could even get the door open. We have over on this side, like the door to this room is just like they took the actual door off and then remounted it as one of those like rolling barn doors.
Ooh.
All right.
And so
That's fancy though.
It neither looks good nor is it functional.
Yes.
Like that style is great, but like it's just completely useless.
Yes.
She, despite the fact that like it rolls very smoothly, she can't seem to figure out how to open it. I have showed her numerous times. She sees it go side to side, but can't figure out how to do it herself. And so if I shut that door while I'm in here, I'll eventually hear her out there crying to be let in.
So
I had to put 2 special locks on my door because my cat has figured out doorknobs. I'm sure he'll be in here at some point, though.
What are you doing? I imagine you step by step teaching Penelope how to open the barn door to be like, okay, so step 1, she's like, yep. You put your paw right here. Okay, got it. Then you're gonna slide to the left. Okay, sure. All right, now you go ahead and do it. Well, I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do.
So my favorite part about this is that the door to the bedroom, they also removed that and put like chintzy, cheap like French doors on it. They kind of like open and meet in the middle. Like they don't latch at all.
Right.
The doorknobs are mismatched and like cheap and like falling off, and like it looks terrible. It was like this house is full of really bad renovation decisions by someone who watched just a little too much HGTV,
right?
And had
all shiplap and
yeah.
I mean, that would actually be kind of cool. The mantle for the fireplace is probably the coolest part, but even that's like really half-assed.
You're complaining a lot about your house, but I'm hearing French doors, reclaimed barnwood, fireplace.
I'll give you the video tour sometime. I gave Michael the tour via video one time. You can see like no 2 strips of baseboard molding are the same. Like around the fireplace, there's parts where like the like quarter round or whatever like actually hangs off because they didn't like cut it to measure. Like it's bad. But anyways, the French doors. If we close those and leave, just say like, stay out of the bedroom while we're gone. We'll come back. The door will be open. And she will be sleeping on the bed without fail.
However,
those she's got.
However, if I close and go like sit on the bed to read or like watch a movie for like this podcast or something like that, and like she's on the other side of the door, does she open them up and come join me? No. She sits on the outside and whines until I get up and let her in.
She
likes it better when you do it.
You
Right.
know how to do it.
those HD TV shows though are great, because they're always like, hi, I sing songs to squirrels and my husband sharpens crayons. We have a budget of $3 million. And it's like,
so you've seen my episode. That's great.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Well, the Reno shows are great because you know why? Because they're done by professionals who do things the right way.
Yeah.
And so the renovations are spectacular.
Or not just where they like half-ass it just because it needs to look good for that one episode, and then they're like, "Are you on your own? Goodbye."
There are a couple of shows that are like that, where they're just like super like very very superficial, like jank, cheap renos. They're like, "Isn't this beautiful?" And the house is falling apart like the next week.
Yeah.
I had friends in high school who were on Trading Spaces. I always have to think if I mean Trading Places or Spaces. Spaces is the...
They were in the Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah, they were in the Eddie Murphy movie. Background actors, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. I thought you just might like to know that. No, but it was a miserable experience. They like came in, they did whatever the fuck they wanted, and left like half the shit unfinished. And then I think a lot of the stuff is just staging.
Yep.
And they... take it with them when the show's over.
Don't
what about
doubt
the
it.
one? And maybe this is the one, I can't remember. The one where they let other people come in and
That's-
like do each
it's like
other's
your
Oh,
houses.
yeah,
neighbors
that's
or
the trading
friends.
place,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do just
Fuck
like a
Fuck
terrible
that.
job, and like they're like every decision they make is awful, and like they're actively ruining your home.
Yeah, they did a circus in one that was like they stapled shit to the ceiling. This is definitely our HGTV podcast now, right?
Yeah.
I have a friend who
Never-
worked for them for a while in post production. So I mean, if we're
If we need to
pitching-
start an HGTV podcast, we can do it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I don't know, segues are a thing on the show. Hello and welcome to the Never Home Design. The Never Heard of It podcast. I'm your host, Michael Fight.
And I am Caleb Cop Some Juice Coy.
And you're probably hearing another voice and you were probably like, what the fuck am I listening to for the past 5 minutes? Who is this other person? So we have brought on, it's been 5 minutes. We ranted for 5 minutes on HGTV. It was great. We have brought on a special guest with us. This is another Night Shift Radio person, and we have brought on Andrea. Andrea is the host of Second Edition 1 and also our social media manager for Night Shift Radio. Hi, Andrea.
That's true. Hi, hello. I leaned into the mic like I've never recorded a podcast before. I don't know what that was. Hi.
You were ready. You were ready.
You're ready
so
to
ready.
go.
Mhm.
And of course, you may remember that this month of September, we've been doing all requests from listeners. And I just went to like prop my leg up and I missed and almost fell over.
Who are you, Captain Morgan? Why are you propping your leg up? You're standing.
I don't know, man. Sometimes you just gotta have a little captain in you. Trying to stretch. Jesus, this is my podcast yoga.
You may also want to stretch if you want a little captain in you.
Heyo.
But of course, this is the last week of September, so this is the last of our very first ever full month of listener requests, and Andrea has selected our movie for this week. And before we even get into what the movie is, I feel like I have to put it out there that about halfway through this, Ellen turned to me and said, "I want Andrea to pick your movies from now on and not."
That's fair. That's fair.
I love how often Ellen and I see eye to eye. It means a lot.
Guess I think you'd get along quite well.
Yeah.
Well, she's looking for a podcast to start on. I've got 7 days to fill, so. Poor Michael's just like, can we just not?
Oh my God, so many podcasts. Andrea, can you tell us what movie we watched this week?
We're watching Stay Tuned. We did watch.
We did watch.
We did. I hope we already watched it. Otherwise,
Are we supposed to watch before we do this?
it's a
the way
watch-along.
my other podcast works.
It's almost 3 years. You tell me now?
Your guesses have been spot on, though. It's
I
really
know.
impressive.
I do what I do.
We did exactly one watch along episode,
it was
and
bad.
it didn't work out for us because not only was it a terrible movie, but we tried to record the video so that was going to be the episode. We
fun.
recorded us reacting to the movie, and we were going to post that, but then 15 minutes in or whatever, the video just completely crapped out, and so all we have is like a 10 minutes, almost like trailer style episode.
That's kind of fun.
It's
too.
mostly us just being like,
Oh no, what have we
why is
done?
This movie.
I
Oh
invented
my
an app
God.
in the shower the other day that is you can record a watch along, and then it's a frame that you can open, and then so your viewers can watch. So say we did this with Stay Tuned, then they would open it and we would overlay, and then that would sync it up for them.
Twitch does that with their watch-alongs with Prime.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you have Prime and a Twitch account, you open it up and people can join along and watch along with you.
Remember that time you pitched that idea to Mixer and they stole it?
Yes, I
Stole
do
it.
exactly remember that idea, and they
Oh,
stole the
no.
fuck out of it.
oh
They
no,
stole
that wasn't
the
a bit.
shit out of it. No, we legit pitched this to
What
Mixer,
the fuck?
and they were like, "No thanks," and then they fucking did it 2 months later. I was like, "You
Mhm.
dick."
This is why you have to record everything you say all the time. I've
And-
stopped
but now they're
talking if
gone.
it's not. No, yeah. See,
And now they're gone, so
That's what
fuck
they
them.
Mhm.
Fuck
Now
Mixer.
we can say it. Fuck Mixer.
Yeah, fuck Mixer. They stole our idea. So we watched this movie, and again, this was a listener request. So we got tons of requests. We got a lot of requests, and we're still accepting more. If you guys want to do more, we will keep doing your listener request indefinitely
Yep.
until we run out of listeners. Which, by the way, for those of you,
Ominous.
Can't be far off.
yeah. Which, by the way, for those of you that are now listening to us on Amazon Music, hello and welcome. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We super appreciate it. Just so you know, it's always like this. I'm sorry.
We got to shout out all our new TikTok fans.
Yeah, all our new TikTok fans. Hello, TikTok fans. We got tons of those.
I actually, because of the news of a potential impending ban, I downloaded the app as an act of protest.
That's nice. Yeah, it didn't go through. A federal judge just said that it shouldn't go through. Yep, that happened last night apparently. Yeah.
One reasonable thing has happened in the last 4. Anyway.
Yeah. So if you want to do a listener request, you can do so right on our website at thenahoit.com, NHOIT.com. Also, if you head over to Night Shift Radio, so Night Shift Radio and nightshiftradio.com/shows. What are websites?
Wait a second.
I don't know.
Frantically buys a new domain to account for what Michael says on the podcast.
But nightshiftradio.com and nightshiftradio.com/shows. You can check out the other podcasts Andrea's on, the 2 other podcasts Andrea's on, because she has also done voiceover for the Storyteller series. So you can also hear her on the last episode, Death of a Minor God, and our upcoming episode, which may or may not already be out by the time you're listening to this episode, called A Man in a Fedora, which is it's actually a really cool one. So and then do that.
Yeah, I know we're here to talk about Stay Tuned, and we're gonna get there, I swear, but I had a full on these pretzels are making me thirsty experience recording for the most recent episode. Like I couldn't, so your editor is gonna have a good time with that.
I'm excited.
I intentionally only read my lines and like the context dialogue on like either side of them, so I can be like still completely surprised by the story when it happens.
Well, I did mostly that, except I couldn't figure out what a couple of things were supposed to be, and then I was struck with fear. It was like, oh, was I misreading it the whole time? But we'll find out.
See, Michael gave me some excellent acting notes when he told me what part.
Caleb got notes.
He gave me the script. He said,
you did.
Part of the ex-boyfriend, think full douche.
And I extended it as far as possible.
Very long.
Yeah.
I did get notes too. You're right. Mine were also helpful. So.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect. Sleazy New Yorker. Done.
I got it.
Easy. Yeah. So let's talk about Stay Tuned. That's why we're here. I have seen this movie before a few times. I actually love this movie. And this falls in line with me right around the time of Mom and Dad Save the World, which also stars Jeffrey Jones. But this is just the story of this movie is really interesting because not only did this movie get pitched and the company be like, fuck no. They pitched it like 5 times before the company was finally like, okay, only if you shut up about it can you make this movie. And then it ended up getting made. It was pretty funny. But it also had potential different directors and almost an entirely different cast. So one of the original people that they wanted to direct it was Tim Burton, who turned them down to do Batman Returns.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, which is, Batman Returns. It's a great movie. So I'm excited for that. Also, they had a lot of other different actors in place, including a former president. So the character of Spike, who is played by Jeffrey Jones, was originally pitched to be played by Ronald Reagan.
Really?
Yeah, former actor, former president to that.
He didn't do any acting after his
He did not, but
right?
this was they pitched it to him to be that person.
You'd think he would have maybe he was just done with everything, but like you think you got your free time back and now people want to see you more than ever.
I want to reboot with Clinton. Clinton would be perfect in this movie.
To be Spike?
Oh no, I was thinking as the John Ritter character actually.
Oh yeah.
in his Lazy Boy. Can I say Lazy Boy?
Right. That'd actually be funny.
TM.
TM.
The casting of this movie was fantastic, and not just the primary cast. Is it principal? Is that the
principal
correct word?
Cast? Principal cast is anybody who speaks.
Not just those, but some of the random like bit players that they get. I mean, Sergeant Dokes, Eric King is in this. No surprise, motherfucker. Though.
Yep.
That was
No.
disappointing. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Fucking Captain Lou Albano. This has like a 30-second cameo. It was
Which
amazing.
I love. Yeah.
So I was scrolling through IMDb and I was looking at the casting and like Lou Albano. No,
You're like,
can't be the
no, that's
Like,
can't be.
Surely not.
there has to be like another actor named Lou Albano. Specifically because they didn't credit him as Captain Lou. They credited him as Lou Albano.
Oh, well, I mean,
so
that's
I checked.
The
and,
disrespect.
nope, this is in fact the captain.
legit. Well, it's for the wrestling scene that we get to, so that's awesome. But yeah, so can you imagine if this movie originally was supposed to have Dan Aykroyd as Roy Nabel? Could you imagine Dan Aykroyd as the main character for this?
I could see it for some of the zanier bits, but like I don't see him for like the setup of this character really at all.
Well, he
Right.
plays in My Girl, right? He's pretty.
Yeah, but I don't think he can pull off that, like, I don't know.
No, this is a perfect movie for it.
Yeah.
He's a dream in this. I love him so much.
Yeah. And also, I'm trying to think of Nothing But Trouble was right around this time, and you have Dan Aykroyd as like a very wild character. You know, he's pretty much a monster. He's the judge or the sheriff. I think he's the judge. Yeah. But pretty crazy. There is a lot of that. I can't imagine that. And also, Mike Myers and Dana Carvey were almost in this movie as cameos of the Dwayne and Garth characters.
That would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome, but they were busy making Wayne's World the movie, which was fucking phenomenal.
So good.
Wayne's World the movie is a brilliant movie.
I'm just thinking, like, how long would it have taken them to shoot their like 12 lines? Like,
Right.
longer to get into the makeup.
Yeah.
Right. Probably more than anything else. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would have been fun though. But as an homage, in Wayne's World 2, as like a hey sorry, one of the characters mistakenly calls Wayne Dwayne as like a fun little Easter egg.
Neat.
But it was specifically for like a hey sorry we couldn't be in this movie.
Aw.
Yeah,
I love
which
that
is pretty
so
cool.
much.
Yeah. But yeah, so this movie came out in 1991, or was filmed in 1991, came out in 1992. We've got John Ritter, famous for Three's Company, and also the dad in Scrubs. He's JD's dad in Scrubs, which is funny is because in this movie he's like a door-to-door plumbing salesman, and in Scrubs he's a door-to-door office supply salesman who is they're both failing. Like he's a failed office supply salesman, and in this he's kind of like a failed like plumbing salesman. So I think that's funny. He's a very parallel character to that. And then we have Pam Dauber.
Mindy.
Is fucking Mindy from Mork and Mindy. It was great. Nanu, bitches. I wanted rainbow suspenders so fucking bad.
What's stopping you now?
I have a lot of suspenders, but no rainbow ones. I really should get some.
You should.
So, completely off topic.
As per usual.
Not on this podcast. I have IMDb open, as often is the case, and there's all the little like clickbait articles down in the lower right corner. And one of them is headlined, "Stars You May Not Know Passed Away, but the photo is Liv Tyler." And I was like,
Yeah, no, she's definitely alive.
She's very much alive.
Yeah.
How rude.
First off, just rude.
First of all, how dare you?
Liv Tyler's a queen. I'm sorry, Empire Records is still that's like the movie for me. I know everyone's gonna be like, Lord of the Rings, rah, but like, no, fuck you, Empire Records. It's not even close. Like,
hello, Armageddon.
All right, Caleb, listen.
I know that I'm praying that was a bit, but you'll not slander Empire Records in this house.
Yeah.
I'll never tell.
Oh my God. What was the other movie? The Apple one, the House of the Apple Bomb one. What was that movie she was in?
Inventing the Inventing the Abbots?
Inventing the Abbotts. I was
Wow.
The Royal
so
Apple
fucking
Bombs.
close.
The neighbors, the Tenenbaums neighbors.
Is that the Apple Bobs? Are the Apple Bobs over there? Tell them we need our lawnmower back.
For a second, I thought you were going in like some sort of like bizarre, like Apple, like the computing company, like
Oh yeah.
What's docudrama?
Yeah,
direction.
I might have. You never know.
What's the one with the apples?
Yeah, the apples and the jobs. I don't know.
He had a job selling apples, I think.
Forrest Gump? Is
Of
that?
course, that's what it was. He was naming all the types of things you can make with apples. Well, there's apple pie, and apple cinnamon, and apple bacon, apple bread, and apple muffins, apple donuts. I want to see that movie. Yeah, and then of course we have fucking Eugene Levy.
Yes.
I mean, Eugene Levy's in this movie, and he's spectacular.
So
You know,
good.
we mentioned Jeffrey Jones, but like, fuck Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had completely forgotten that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in, I feel like, half of the movies that were filmed between a year and another year. I don't know. He was in, so.
true. That's an accurate timeline.
Ferris Bueller, Ed Wood, Howard the Duck, Amadeus. Like,
Oh, I fucking forgot about that. He's the scientist guy in Howard the Duck.
Mm-hmm.
he was a voice actor in Invader Zim.
Yeah. Oh man. Jeffrey Jones, R.I.P.
Bummer.
Fucking pervert.
Yeah, rest in.
He's not actually dead. He's just a pervert. So
Born in Buffalo.
He might as well be. Oh yeah. Oh, that checks out.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone in Buffalo. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're all fine.
Classic Buffalonian over here.
Classic. Oh boy. So this movie starts off and we learn a little bit about John Ritter's character, who is Roy Nabel. But this is really weird because this movie starts off with a voiceover. It's told from the point of view of the kid. Like,
it's to let you know that it's a family movie.
I mean, I guess, but dude, that was really fucking weird. I don't know. Like when I watched it now, like I remember watching it, you know, in the 90s, and then I watched it now and I'm like, why the fuck is the kid talking? Who gives a fuck?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, and I didn't remember it, and I was struck by it too, and I guess that was a thing, more of a thing back then, right? So maybe just as like, I don't know, kids are doing like.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was an odd choice.
The voiceovers are interesting. They're very hit or miss for me. And my girlfriend fucking hates them. And like anytime I suggest a movie, she's like, "Are there voiceovers?" And I was like, "Well, but she's like, I'm not watching that movie. If there is a monologue in the beginning, she's like, I refuse to watch that movie. It's going to be bad." I'm like, well, I mean, you're not wrong, but listen.
How does she feel about Clueless?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think she likes it because it's adaptation of a book. So,
so that's enough.
Yeah, so I think that's good enough. That sold her. Wait,
it just occurred to me why
Emma, that's right. Yeah,
oh,
I was like 12th Night.
Yes,
I was like, nobody's a guy. It's Emma. Yeah,
nobody's a guy. Yeah. It did just occur to me why the kid has to do the voiceover, and if they need a voiceover, if that was their shortcut or whatever, it's that Roy can't say I've got a suck job, and my wife knows that I'm a waste of space and all of that. And I guess your kid can. That's fine.
I mean, but did he even need to like?
No.
Did he actually really need? They could have just like shown that, you know, like right off the bat. Show don't tell. Come on, motherfuckers! God damn it! Write a movie. No wonder Tim Burton passed. Just kidding. Tim Burton has voiceover in every one of his fucking movies. So
he had to set up the ominous, like everything was fine until that night.
That night. Which I think is it. I mean, it's, you know, the kid is kind of like an integral part of the story, anyways. So I get it. He's somewhat involved. I mean, the bike, the sword, the remote, like he helps on. Caleb is just stopping his car really fast, so that's sorry about it. For those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
I disagree that the kid was at all integral to the story, but
yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll talk about what the kid does.
I mean, I would go so far as to say that they shoehorned in things to make him seem important in the last like 20 minutes or so.
Sure.
But otherwise could have not even been in the movie and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, but that one kid got a sweet Huffy bike out of the deal.
And that scene had no bearing on the movie.
Yeah, but that kid's day got made because he got a fucking Huffy bike. Caleb, are you not listening?
No heart over here.
Do you know how fucking dope Huffy bikes were in the 90s, man? I'm sorry, you must be new here. Oh man, yeah. So we see that John Ritter is obsessed with television, but like he just flips through channels. I don't know, man. It's been a really long time since I've had cable, and I don't recall ever just like flipping endlessly through channels. I say as I'm going to sign off of this podcast and literally just endlessly scroll through Tubi menus, like, and just being like, nope, seen that, nope, seen that. Like, that's my life.
Transylvania 65000 is on Tubi.
I saw. Fuck yes.
Fuck yes.
Fucking Jeff Goldblum. Let's do it. Right? That was Jeff Goldblum, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ed Begley Jr.
Oh, that's so
Ed
good.
Jr. What a fun name to say.
Yeah, Ed Begley. Begley.
My name is Ed Begley.
Isn't he the one that ends up like? Isn't he a crazy like? Well, not crazy. Isn't he an awesome like super green like save the world energy efficient like
The
pusher?
one that was neighbors with Bill Nye. And
Right,
little competitions, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he is like he's like totally into that. So like he's super invested into like renewable energy and like solar power and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
American actor and environmental activist.
Fuck yeah, Ed Begley Jr.
Hundreds of films. That's so many films.
So many films.
So many films. Doesn't stand up to Eric Roberts, but Eric Roberts is in like the 300s. I think we figured out.
What a fucking legend.
I know.
Is he principal character?
He's principal character in every.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you don't fucking put Eric Roberts in a film without saying something.
True. I just saw that Mary Steen. I'm sorry, YouTube. This happens all the time and usually gets edited out on the other podcast. But Mary Steenburgen? Bergen. I've said her name wrong. She's trending and I'm nervous. And I just...
Oh, no. She probably told Trump to fuck off or something.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Yeah, that's a typical thing. Anyway, so movie. So John Ritter, we learn, is kind of a deadbeat. He's just stuck to his TV. He ignores his wife. He's kind of not a great dad. His wife is she sells what does she do? Insurance?
You should know this. She works in an advertising agency.
She works in an advertising agency.
She's like a high level
and a senior partner now.
Yeah.
You made senior partner? Why didn't you tell me? Why don't
You're intimidated by my success.
I don't think he is, though. That was the first thing. I think he's just fine. He would love to just hang out and be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, I also like there was a lot that they pegged him as like this apathetic like deadbeat type person, but I don't really think that's it. I think he's just obsessed with TV. Like he just has bad attention. Like he just can't retain, like he can only focus on one thing at a time. Like he probably has something more diagnosable where he's gonna be like, it's not my fault. I have this thing and nobody just ever diagnosed me because it was the 90s and they wanted you addicted to television.
So a couple of thoughts on that. One, David Tom, who plays young Daryl, Daryl makes a comment like, they say my dad has he's going through something they call a midlife crisis. And I'm like, just wait, kid. It's about your turn now.
Yeah.
And I just looked up and David Tom was born in 1978. He's actually older than my brother. So how's that working out for you now, David?
Yeah, as you say, he's what, like 44 right now? Yeah. 42? Yeah. Yeah, because he's 3 years older than us. So 42.
March of 1978. So
yeah. Happy birthday.
Tegan and Sarah turned 40 today, which is
true. Happy birthday, Tegan and Sarah.
Last week. Happy birthday last week.
They are 40 plus 1 week.
Yeah, 40 plus 1 week. Good for them. I love that.
The other thing is I love how this takes us back to the innocent days of the early 90s where television was the biggest evil we had to face.
I know, right? Yeah, no internet, no cell phones. There's just television and
We'd already gotten rid of rock music and Dungeons and Dragons.
yep.
We got rid of those back in the 70s and 80s, so now it was just the TV that was trying to kill our kids.
It's funny, that's the shortcut, right? That's why Roy that's how you know he's a deadbeat, because he's obsessed with television. Those two things go hand in hand.
And he has his recliner that he sits and he watches, TV, which is crazy. And I also love the fact that, when Spike finally gets to Roy, he's like, we're going to give you this brand new crazy 44-inch TV. He's like, whoa, like my kid has a 44-inch TV and she's 8. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, I have like a 70-inch TV in my living room. And even that, I'm like, I don't know if it's big enough. Like, I have a 42-inch TV literally to the left of me right fucking now. That is,
and I don't know if you can see this, YouTube, but you're in your bathroom right now. So
I like to be comfortable when I watch TV.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
What is it, the Napper Crapper?
No, the Napper Crapper. Yeah, and I have my beer to the left. A little puller thing. This is how it is. So the movie after our before our voiceover, the movie opens with what is it, Murray Seidenbaum and his wife, which these are like the most typical husband and wife, like older husband and wife, like we'll call them dinks. They're probably dinks. Double income, no kids, for those unfamiliar, which is why if you ever watched Doug on Nickelodeon, his neighbors were called the Dinks because
oh my god,
double income, no kids, the Dinks.
That is holy shit.
That is crazy, right? That was a term, Dinks. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so anyway, so they were like this older couple, but like they're like the most 90s quintessential older Jewish couple, where the wife is sitting down, Murray, this popcorn needs more butter, Murray. He's like, yes, dear, and he's just puttering around. He's, oh, butter, get the butter, where the wife is all naggy, but the husband is all like space cadet and, aloof. And that's just like such a stereotypical old couple. I don't know. I don't feel like those really exist, like in real life. Do you know any couples that are really like that?
I don't know. It kind of felt a lot like real life for me.
Oh man. Double income, no kids. That's you. You're a dink.
That part's true.
That part's true. But yeah, so Murray gets a knock on the door, and he walks to the door, and we meet Jeffrey Jones's character Spike, and Spike is wearing a big black trench coat and his black fedora. He's the man in a fedora. Fedora.
And he's bad because his name is Spike.
Yes. Spike. I mean, call me Spike. What a dumb fucking name.
Whoa,
like, that's
whoa,
his 90s nickname.
Well, he's like presenting as this like slick, like businessy, like salesman, and shows up in like suit and tie and like trench coat and everything. He's like, "Good evening, sir. Sorry to bother you this hour. My name is Spike."
He definitely gave himself that name in high school and it didn't stick. And then now he's just like,
oh, everyone calls me Spike.
Yeah.
Dude, no one calls you Spike.
No.
All my friends call me Spike.
Literally no one.
Nobody calls. Yes.
My buddy Itch. My name's Scratch.
Spectacular.
Spectacular?
So no, you stop right now.
Caleb, I liked it. I'm gonna allow it.
You're not the president of this podcast, Andrea. Step down.
I think I'm still in the brig anyway.
Yeah.
What is this,
I haven't seen the season
episode?
finale. Come on. I still haven't seen the season finale. Anyways.
Oh my God, get your shit together.
I fucking moved into a house. I had no TV for 2 days.
I mean, literally, get your shit together in your new home.
So that you can
and move it to the, yeah. But my office is perfectly set up. Priorities. So Spike, we assume introduces something to Murray, and we find out that Murray now disappears. So Murray has disappeared and begins our opening credit sequence, which was a mix of colors, very peculiar. And then our voiceover begins.
Can you say more about that? I'm sorry. What do you?
with the opening credits, how it kept alternating colors, but it was like really weird colors. It was like an off-white, like an off-orange, and then like a green, and then like a blue. It was really weird. I thought it was weird.
I wonder what I thought was happening there. I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
Yeah, just for that beginning. It was
Drugs.
Stay tuned. A lot of drugs. A lot of fucking drugs. There was no drugs in the 90s. 80s was all the coke. 90s there was no drugs, and then in late, well, I guess in the 90s it was like ecstasy because strictly because of the movie Go, and because of Moby.
Yeah, because that's when raves were a thing.
Yeah.
Only in the late 90s.
Only in the late 90s. Now you don't go to raves anymore. Anyone that tells me they're going to rave, I'm like, what fucking year? You don't go to rave. I'm just kidding. Literally nobody has ever told me they've gone to a rave because I have friends with adults. That was like such a meta dig. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break really quick. When we come back, we'll actually talk about the movie. So before we go to a break, we've already mentioned our website, but we're also on social media. You can find us at the Nahoit Podcast. That's the NHOIT Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. Definitely check it out. We post clips of past episodes, upcoming episodes, and just kind of talk shit on anybody, things. And but we also have a hashtag. Caleb, what?
Yo, you can hit us up on Cash App. It's hashtag NightShiftRadio. Bitches.
Don't call them bitches. You're all lovely
that's in the
people.
hashtag. No, it's
not.
Okay. It's just hashtag NightShiftRadio.
Radio bitches. That's very good.
Radio bitches.
Bitches.
It's actually referring to you two. This is the Night Shift Radio bitches.
Right. I mean, aren't we all Night Shift Radio bitches?
Nice.
And if you were like, yo, I want your dope ass new logo on a shirt or a bag or a mug or a pet
or
hoodie,
leggings.
We have fucking merch, and we have Night Shift Radio hoodies, which are really fucking cool. And I keep forgetting I need to order one like today.
Hoodies and leggings,
they're
and
great.
pet hoodies, and
pet hoodies.
Put your pet in a hoodie and send me a picture. And by sending me a picture, I mean find us at Night Shift Radio bitches on Twitter and tag me in
tag it.
There's
Please.
another domain I have to buy.
So if you go to our website, nightshiftradio.com, you will see a section for the store, and that's where you can purchase all of our cool things, tons of cool things. But
also
all right.
navigate directly there via nsrad.io/merch.
Yeah.
See, because it's like radio.
Rad.
Radio.
Pretty radical.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of rad, I need to buy the new remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Anyways, we're going to run off to a break. We will be right back.
Bye.
You're listening to a Night Shift Radio production. Night Shift Radio is a modern media company bringing you shows that entertain, inform, and most importantly, provide an escape. Never heard of it dives into the world of bad, obscure, and sometimes just weird movies. Follow along with the crew of Set Condition 1 as they experience the 2004 sci-fi hit Battlestar Galactica, one episode at a time. Each week on Left of the Dial, we explore a new record or revisit an old favorite. We'll bring in guests to talk about their own music and the state of the industry. The Superpod Hero Cast, guys with beers talking about movies with capes. They draw a random comic-inspired movie from Thor's helmet and offer thorough, insightful, and humorous commentary. And once a month, tune into the Storyteller series and get lost in the magic of a good old-fashioned radio drama. Learn more about these fine shows at nightshiftradio.com and subscribe on your favorite platform.
Hello and welcome back. I have purchased Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered on break.
What if we did a whole episode that's just us playing Tony Hawk?
Could we just do a lot of episodes of us playing it? Because it's fucking dope. And they updated the soundtrack too.
When they did a Sony did a re-release of the original PlayStation that they just called the PS1, and it was like a little portable version. And I brought that in the van in the early days of Long Since Touring, and I had. Tony
I'm sorry. Are
Hawk.
you talking about the legendary rock group Long Since Forgotten?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
I had Tony Hawk 2, I think, and Steve and our buddy Luke, so our drummer and our friend who came and did merch and like play some shows with us and whatnot. They created a custom skater who was just this massively buff dude, like completely shaved head and like tattoos and everything. And they named him Mr. Fuck Ass Bitch.
Yo, I wonder how Mr. Fuck Ass Bitch is doing now.
He's a pro skater.
Cool. That's great. Fucking
That's
dope.
great.
I'm glad.
My
All
favorite
right.
thing about Tony Hawk is people running into Tony Hawk and thinking that he looks like Tony Hawk.
Oh my God. I love Tony Hawk stories where like
Such a good sport about it.
the one about the
best
airport.
part of Twitter.
Yeah, where it was like, yeah, I went through an airport and somebody looked at my license and be like, "Oh, Tony Hawk, like the skater." He's like, "Yeah, exactly." And he was
Exactly
like,
like
I wonder what that guy's up to right now." He was like, "This." I love that.
Exactly this.
Good.
literally this. All right, so we've gotten a little bit of the premise of the story. Andrea, why don't you start us off with the beginning of the movie where we really learn about Roy Nabel and how he meets Spike.
And so he and oh God, Michael really putting me on the spot with this one. This
know,
is
I
a
do
strong
that.
suit of mine.
Great.
So he's home watching TV and his wife is out being successful in a, execubabe. And she's trying to reignite the spark in their marriage, get them to reconnect. And he's obsessed, so obsessed with the TV that he can't peel his eyes away. And they go back and forth for quite a while about that. That's like right? Yeah. That's when Spike showing up.
Yeah. So they go back
Like,
for a while, and
She throws a trophy through his TV.
through his
She
fucking
does.
TV. And then
I
he hooks up
screamed.
another TV on top of it,
I can
which
picture
is
that.
amazing. And they do that foreshadowing thing where he ends up stumbling across like, I don't know, like an Errol Flynn movie or something, and he pulls the fencing thing off the wall. So we're like, this is how he knows how to sword fight. And like movies with like fighters or like especially American martial art movies, they do this a lot where they'll like, they'll have them, like working out a lot, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's right, man. Like, you're gonna meet me for coffee? Oh, dude, didn't you used to be like ex special forces and like 7 black belts and stuff?" You're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that was
yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, I don't talk about that anymore. Anyways, bro." That's how they always like name drop that sort of bullshit onto you of like, this is how that they can do said thing, and we're gonna make them do later, and it's not weird.
Love that it's fencing of all the things.
Of all the things,
It's just-
fencing.
Do you think John Ritter can actually fence?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, I
not
wonder if
anymore.
that-
He can't anymore. But I'm sure maybe he used to be able to. Yeah, John Ritter's dead, by the way.
What?
It's just in.
Wait, so how did John? Okay, I think I'm getting John Ritter and John Denver confused. Which one died in the skiing accident? That was John Denver,
Yeah.
right?
John Ritter died of something like,
September
very-
11, 2003.
whoa.
He's been dead for
Um,
17 years.
Dang.
Has it been that long?
John
Good Lord.
How did John Ritter die?
Ask Jeeves.
I'm gonna assume it's some sort of cancer or something.
I think it was like a brain thing.
Okay, so no one disputes that doctors at St. Joseph treated Ritter as if he were having a heart attack. Both sides agree that his true condition, an aortic dissection, which is a tear in the largest blood vessel in the body, was not identified until right before he died. So,
Ugh,
fuck. That's a hell of a way to go.
that's
Mm.
shitty.
Bummer. Well, that's fun. Glad we settled
Well,
that.
anyways,
Pour
I
one
don't
out for John Ritter.
Yeah,
dang.
seriously.
But yeah, so at this point, the wife makes a bunch of comments. The kids do this very sneaky, somewhat passive aggressive thing where they leave the house to be like, all right, we're gonna both go spend the night at a friend's house. Mom and Dad, you should totally talk to each other and not get
save your
divorced."
marriage.
Right.
The responsibility on those kids' shoulders to you should not know. I mean, I know in the 90s most of our families were dysfunctional on their way to divorce, but I don't know.
But I mean, like, dang, to like carry that emotional burden as a teenager.
Yeah.
That's shitty. Also, but I do want to put an aside. Did you guys notice that the son had a fucking like computer chip on his hat?
Is that what that was?
I did not clock
there was
that,
a
no.
computer chip like attached to the top of his hat, and it's probably the coolest fucking hat I've ever seen.
I was too busy
You know
being
he's a nerd.
confused by the trope in movies like this that you can just take apart any electronic gadget and
And make-
cobble
Right.
something together to meet your needs,
Sure,
because that's exactly how
it's all just tubes and
Technology
wires,
works.
right?
that's it.
How we do it.
Just any circuit board and any combination of wires will do, and you can hook up jumper cables to your neighbor's house.
You're good
Shit.
to go.
Sometimes I feel like that's how my body's put together. It's like, I don't know, just any old fucking wires and tubes. I just threw it all in a meat sack and hope for the best.
Spare parts, aren't you, bud?
Yeah. Shit, dude.
Also, can we talk about how the daughter is full Blossom in the beginning of this?
Yes.
Oh my God,
Like
she's
the hat and
100%.
everything.
Yep.
The jacket,
Yeah.
the hat. It's
God,
like
it's
just
They just were
perfect.
like, how can we appeal to young kids? I know. Let's make her blossom.
when did that show air?
Full on Blossom. type. That
Blossom
would've
had to
been-
have been out. I mean, this is early 90s. Blossom had to have already been out.
Debuted in 1990 and aired until 95. So it's entirely possible that they managed to actually borrow some wardrobe for this movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is like season 1, like edging onto season 2 of Blossom.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for a Blossom type when they
Yeah.
were casting, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, which they got. So the daughter was played by Heather McComb. And she's actually surprisingly done some things since this movie, because a lot of times you find like
A
these
lot of
kids.
people have done some things since this
I've
movie.
done- I've done some
I've
things.
done some things since this movie.
I think we've
but-
all done some things since this movie.
But yeah, you know, like a lot of times though, you find these kids that they do shit in, you know, like they'll be in a movie and it's like a big thing, and then you just never fucking hear from them again. But she was in Grey's Anatomy. She was in Most Likely to Murder. Oh no, she was Most Likely to Murder. Oh no, she was in she wasn't actually Most Likely to Murder. She was in the movie The Rookie. She was in Dating a Killer. I don't know. Most of these movies look like bullshit, but she did a lot of things.
Both kids have been in police procedurals, so boom.
That's crazy. Oh yeah. There's our thing. Oh, he was in Swing Kids, the other kid, and he was in Young and the Restless. He was in Pleasantville.
Swing Kids like the year after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about Swing Kids until just now. Oh, I love that
Yeah,
movie so
That's
much.
a movie.
Listener request, can I put it in right now? Does that I guess I don't think that movie really counts for this, does it?
Yeah,
Anyway.
maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Someone's never heard of it.
But we have our supernatural connection. We have a lot of supernatural connections, but we have it in a very weird way. Is that Supernatural actually did an episode that was like an homage to this, where
Mhm.
Sam and Dean get sucked into TV and they keep bouncing between different TV shows.
I
And
didn't
that was
know.
a
Which- was that
direct
Was that the episode that he was in?
John Ritter.
No, David Tom was in the episode
Oh,
called Tall
shit.
Tales. And
No, the other one was called Changeling or something
Okay.
like that, or Changing. It's like changing or changing the channel or something like that. So for all our Supernatural fans, on our forthcoming Supernatural podcast, we're not really doing that, but yeah, yeah. So that was.
Are you sure?
That was
Because that's
thing.
there's no way we wouldn't. Anyway, that
Yeah, right.
would be
Which one
people
was
would.
Changing Channels was the name of the episode that came out in 2009. That does the whole thing about them having to go through different TV programs.
That's so fun. I didn't know that. I had stopped watching
Oh, okay.
Supernatural after like the first few seasons, but
Yeah, same.
That's
I think I only made it
exciting.
through season 2.
It really
think
kind of
that's
goes off the
probably true for
rails
me, too.
around like season 10.
and then it gets back on the rails though, right? Is my understanding,
I
or is
haven't
it just
watched
that
any of
the okay?
It,
Oh,
it
around season
seems
10.
like
I'm
it's-
sorry. I was listening to you for real before I realized you were making a joke about how that show's been on forever, right? Is that,
Yeah, but
I
it's done
mean-
now.
Oh,
Is it?
The series finale was just filmed. It is done. I think the last season is either airing or about to air.
End of an
Yeah.
era.
Yeah, but
I
they
guess
just
I can
announced
binge it
that-
now.
Yeah, that they just filmed the series finale.
There was
Crazy. And there goes the entire CW network. They've got nothing
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Bring
Well, I
back
guess-
Dawson's Creek.
They've got all the DC shows, so I'm sure they've got that.
Dawson's Creek, is that one of them?
No.
Dawson-
Dawson's Creek, the original DC.
The original
DC show.
DC. Yeah.
Hell yes.
All right.
15 seasons. Damn.
We need to talk about this movie, just so you know, because it's been a really long time and we have yet to even get the movie started. So
Caleb usually keeps me on track. This is
no, I'm fine with ranting. So
Not this podcast.
so here's the thing about this movie. It has a lot of it's such a 90s film. So we have like the 90s evil corporate boardroom scenes. We have the just everybody's suit is just way too big for them. Like everybody's suit is
It's really true.
yeah, it's just so, and shoulder pads all over the place.
There were no tailors in the 90s.
There were no tailors. All the tailors took a break in the 90s. They were like, we did way too much coke in the 80s. We have to take a break before we get back on this. So we've got Roy Nabel. Spike comes to the door and, really appeals to him and is like, look, you're a loser and your wife hates you and your kids hate you. And he was like, wait, what? Hang on. And he was like, wait, that's not accurate. And he was like, I'm about to give you a free TV and all you got to do is, sign this contract. And he was like, dope, blah. So he signs the contract, turns on his dope 44-inch TV. And it says, the very first thing it says is, please adjust disc. And so he has to go out and adjust the satellite dish, not disc, dish. I don't know, man. It was the 90s. So he goes out to adjust the satellite dish, and he gets sucked into the dish. Hence, we get him running through shows. Now, since we've ranted about a lot of other things, we're just going to go through some of the things that they end up doing. So what we learn is that Spike is Mephistopheles? No. Mr. Mephistopheles.
that's
Mephistopheles. He's not the cat from Cats, right? Mephistopheles?
no.
All right. Mephistopheles.
Mr. Mephistopheles.
Mr. Mephistopheles, who is the brother of Satan. I don't know Christian mythology. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Read a Bible, you
demon.
twit.
I don't think Mephisto or Mephistopheles, whatever, is even in the Bible.
Mephisto? I think that's an X-Men character. I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you.
That always throws me because I think I actually first heard of Mephisto before hearing of Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles, yeah. I think Mephisto is part of the underground mutants there? The one...
You're thinking of the Morlocks?
The Morlocks, yep. I think Mephisto was part of the Morlocks.
Choo-choo, right off the rails.
Fuck. And now we're going to rant about the 90s X-Men animated series.
I would love to.
Me too. So anyway, we learned that his job is to convince unwitting suspects to basically get these TVs sucked into this and play a game. Basically, they have to survive for 24 hours in a in this TV world. And if they live for 24 hours, they get redemption and they live and they're perfectly happy. But if they die, then they die and you get their soul. Yes, Caleb, you have thoughts.
Also known
for those
as
of you on
Mephisto.
YouTube, it was audible, his face.
He's also known as Mephisto, and he's a demon featured in German folklore. So fuck you.
That's clearly what Caleb was thinking of. So.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Okay. Aggressive. I'm gonna need you to pump the brakes on that. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna go stay at a friend's house so you two can talk. Is that?
I need you here. Yes. Mommy and Daddy are fighting, Andrew. Please hang on.
Not again.
Go in the room and turn up your music. Sorry, did that hit real for a lot of 90s kids all of a sudden?
Boy. Only 90s kids will know, you know what I mean?
For real. Who are we kidding? Your parents weren't home anyways.
What's up, Latchkey kids?
Yeah. Shit, son. All right, so Roy gets sucked in, but inadvertently, so does Helen, his wife. So they get sucked into the TV, and now they're in these TV shows. But these TV shows are kind of like the forerunner to intergalactic cable from Rick and Morty, because it's basically violent or devilish parodies of current shows.
Or that Doctor Who episode on Station 5.
On Station 5. Yeah, that's a better reference. But yeah, that's a good one. So essentially, all these shows are ones like, one of my, the ones I thought was the most funny was like Driving Over Miss Daisy. Like, I thought that was really funny. But the very first thing that they're on is a game show called You Can't Win, which is just
the other name for the game of life.
Yeah, You Can't Win. Oh, man. But yeah, so You Can't Win. And so basically it's kind of like marriage counseling with a hint of death. So the idea is that they ask questions, and the very first question they ask is, you were on your way to the wedding anniversary, and did Roy have car trouble? I don't know, do a thing, or was he actually in a bar watching the World Series? And he was like, it's car trouble, like I said. And we learned that wasn't the case. He was really watching TV. So that's the other things with this is we're just leaning on that obsession with TV, which in all fairness does help him out in the end. So the lesson is a little mixed signals, pun intended.
Oh. I'll allow it.
So
Watch yourself, McCoy.
Andrea, what was your favorite show that he ended up being on, or famous thing?
My I have two favorites, and it's the Dwayne's World one. Dwayne's Underworld is so good. I worship Satin just lives in my brain. That's like an intrusive thought that I have that will just pop up sometimes. And the other one is the silencer of the kids and silencer of the pets commercial.
Oh yes,
Silencer of the Lambs.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Made me realize this movie came out, what did we say, 91?
92, but it filmed
92,
yep.
So I would have been 6, and I had already seen Silence of the Lambs, which explains a lot, because I remember that I got that reference.
You got that joke. You're like, I know that one. Yeah.
So that's unsettling, but I think those are my two favorites. So they're all the Northern Overexposure. That's a really good one too.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah. What about y'all?
A few of them definitely made me chuckle loudly. Northern Overexposure got me because I actually did enjoy Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure was a good show.
Different Strokes. That was great. There was
a
bunch
really
that were just like, as they were flipping through the channels, the kids like trying to find what show the parents had jumped into. There were just a bunch of like quick bite ones.
Yeah.
So The Exorcisist was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great. You're working up a real burn. Good job, Sarah. She's on fire.
Hands down, where Roy finds himself in a spoof of Three's Company.
Oh yeah,
yes, which
he just turns to the camera and screams.
So when I used to watch this movie, as a kid and stuff like that, I actually thought that was the people from Three's Company, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's
lookalikes.
Yeah,
which they did a pretty good job.
They did a really good job. It really, it looked exactly like it. It was pretty cool.
Three's Seems like they should have had them. Would it have been, or did they have like a tumultuous relationship?
I don't think they got along.
Yeah, okay. I think one of them. I think it was the blonde. Was like, because that was who? That wasn't Farrah Fawcett, right? Who was the
Suzanne Summers?
No, she was or was Suzanne Summers? Yeah, Suzanne Summers. Yeah, she was kind of crazy. So it was probably her. But yeah, so we see them bounce through all these shows, and they're all just trying to survive. My favorite was the animated one. And he sends out to the Acme Corporation to get help for that, which I thought was really cool. But there's a really cool thing when he lifts up the envelope and you have the stamp. There was a drawing of like a man, and that was actually of Chuck Jones, who was
well played.
He was the guy who did all those cartoons like the Tom and Jerry and all those things.
I missed that. That's so good.
Yeah,
and very accurate homage to those cartoons too.
Yeah, it was great. Way. Well, he actually oversaw the animation for it as well. And the animation started 6 months before any of the live action footage of this film was shot. So they had already started doing the animated scenes before they had even shot a single frame of live action video.
That explains why the American Gothic painting with their eyes all like bugged out screaming is like the one still that everyone uses for this movie.
Yep. Yeah.
The Three's Company parody was not the original actors. However, the music video was in fact actually Salt and Pepper.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. And Spinderella. We can't forget
And
Spinderella.
Spinderella, that's true.
Don't forget Cinderella.
Nobody forgets Spinderella. She's
I
really
love
the brains
that.
behind the whole.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. So all right. So Spike's there. We've got our instance of the captain there, Captain Lou Albano, when they have the wrestling one, and we learn that they go through portals of static. Static, for those of you who may be more of our younger viewers, static was a thing that happened on non-broadcast, or if there was a no signal sending over your broadcast cable TV. So for those of you that may be younger, that was a thing that you would see often, especially off channels or changing channels back when you had to like tune your stuff. There's a history lesson.
Can I just say that when digital cable became a thing and there was signal loss and it would literally just cut out, like how much I would rather have had the static than just like the sudden complete loss of signal. Like there was something like there's just like an assault to my senses when there was just like sudden dead air.
Yep.
Hated it.
Way existential, because at least you have the static, you know you're alive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You need the white noise for existence.
You experienced this for the first, I mean, I was well into my teenage years the first time I experienced digital cable. And so like I had grown up with the idea that like if there wasn't signal, or if the signal was weak even, like you would still get like some picture, some audio, but it might be kind of broken up and garbled a little bit. But it was there. Enter digital cable and like you could be right in the middle of something and boom, no video, no audio, and it's like so jarring.
Messed up. So we learn through this that they need to survive, and they do all their little actiony things, and so the kid finds out, the kid comes home, the boy, and he sees Daryl. First off, who names their kid fucking Daryl? Like, gross.
You could name people anything in the 90s, I think.
And just get away with it. It's ridiculous. It's torture. It's abuse, really. I mean, also their daughter's name was Diane. Like, who fucking names a kid Diane? People aren't born named Diane.
Daryl and Diane.
Daryl and Diane.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, that's a good podcast while we had it. So Daryl finds out that mom and dad are trapped in the TV, and he tries to send things to them and help them out. Eventually he does help out Roy by sending a fencing sword. After Roy does make it 24 hours. He does make 24 hours, but he ends up in a battle to go and save his wife, who is about to catch the 310 to Yuma right between the eyes.
Right in the face.
Wait, so I want to talk about this really quick. Do you guys remember one of the snippet commercials was the one about the beer, the one
Yogi beer.
Yogi beer. So the kid says, "Get me another one, bitch." But
he says babe.
But he says babe, but if you look at his mouth, he says bitch. He 100% gets me another one, bitch. Yeah, but they overdubbed it babe. Because that's the thing, like, I watch mouth, so like, 'cause I can't hear worse shit, so I watch people's lips. And I was watching, and I was like, oh shit, he definitely said bitch. Give me another one, bitch. But
I wonder, because she calls the wrestler, right, when she touches her hair. Well, that she calls her a bitch then. Yeah. So I wonder if that was there.
They were like, nope, too many.
Too many bitches. Too many bitches in this movie.
Yes, too many bitches in this movie. Oh, that's spectacular. Yeah. So things happen. Roy wins the day. Saving Spike. Was there any standout moments for you guys, like where you're like, oh my god, we have to talk about this moment? I mean, the whole movie is it's great, but yes, Caleb.
I'm just thinking, like, it was enjoyable. It was fun. It wasn't nearly as much fodder as I expected it to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, that was my concern, because it was when y'all covered Mom and Dad Save the World, that's what made me remember this movie. And so I went back to look it up, and I was surprised because it had flopped, apparently, which was a surprise to me. And so I assumed that it was one of those movies that was just going to age really poorly, or it was going to be great in either way. But it was very just like a pretty like straight down the middle, like 90s fun.
Which is very standard. 90s sci-fi. So this movie, the budget of this movie was about 25 million, and it only did 3 million opening weekend, 10 million gross and worldwide, which that's not good even for the 90s.
No.
How do you think it would have done if they'd actually gotten Richard Dreyfuss and Tracy Ullman?
I think it would have gone a lot. I mean, that would have been an interesting couple. I think it would have been really good. But I don't know. I mean, the movie's weird. That's the thing.
Yeah. Huh. Man, now I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of my life.
And Tim Burton. So Tim Burton directing, Richard Dreyfuss and Tracy Ullman, and they get Mike Myers, and what's his name? Dana Carvey.
Carvey and Reagan.
And Reagan.
And Reagan
is Spike. That's a whole other movie.
I can't stop thinking about the Burton directing, like what the animated would have been.
Would have been
stop
so much
motion
creepier.
And
imagine like the underground hell scenes. Great, because Jeffrey Jones was in Beetlejuice, which was directed by Tim Burton. He was in that a few years earlier.
That's true.
So he had already worked with Tim Burton before.
Right.
So that would have been cool. Yeah.
I think it's absolutely worth pointing out during the end credits, the first part of the end credits, they do a series of kind of animated stills of a television with different show names, presumably ones that they had thought of and didn't get to, or it was just the ones that didn't make the cut. And there's they showed us the fall TV lineup. I Love Lucifer, Beverly Hills 90266. Yes. The Golden Ghouls, Murder She Likes.
I would watch Golden Ghouls.
They were just sitting around that list was before there was one word of the script, right?
Yeah, and that's writer's
Golden
room.
Ghouls, yeah, for sure. And Murder She Likes is.
I feel like Jordan Van Dyne was in this writing room as a 4-year-old, being like, Murder She Likes.
So the one that I don't get is I thought these were all totally made up, like completely fictional, but then they had the David Dukes of Hazzard.
Wait.
David Duke is
No, I know that.
And the Dukes of Hazzard because it's because they're racist, guys.
Okay. Now I understand.
Can you just imagine for a moment young Caleb growing up and realizing just what a shit show the South is, and the vestiges of the Confederacy being still glorified, but young Caleb was really into the Dukes of the Hazzard because he liked the car jumping across the canyon or whatever the hell it was, and the horn playing Dixie. It was really hard to reconcile.
You're like, wait, damn.
I wanted to grow up and be a moonshine runner too.
What's stopping you?
You still can, really.
Yep.
Yeah, I think about that because I think back of all the movies and stuff that Jeffrey Jones has been in, and I was oh man, he was poised to be America's dad, and then he kind of turned out to be America's stepdad. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was really
I watched your eyes back away from your own joke before you were even to the end of it. You really.
Fuck. I'm going to hell for that joke so bad. Oh my god.
It's okay. You'll get to tell it to him.
I'll get to tell it to Jeffrey Jones. He'll be very happy about it. He'll be like, you prick. Sorry, you deserve it. Oh damn. Fuck. That's a one to end on. So should you watch this movie? Yeah, totally. It's a fun 90s sci-fi comedy, and John Ritter, man, he's just fucking charming. I love John Ritter. He's worth it alone.
I mean, I think overall, the casting, Jeffrey Jones aside, was phenomenal, and you get to see a young Eric King before he finds out that Dexter's the killer. Spoiler:
what?
Dexter's the killer.
Oh shit!
That's the show. And yeah, I mean, absolutely, it's a fun movie. It was It was an enjoyable watch, and it's free on tubitv.com. So yeah, I say watch it.
It's also feels very much like, and I'm sure there are others before it, but the like precursor to things like Scary Movie or just any of the like kind of parodies that are really invested in playing with and being smart about their own genres. I was thinking like Cabin in the Woods, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh my God, yes.
Is a very different, obviously, version of a movie like this, but it's, it's know your history or whatever.
And seriously, if you like wordplay, humor, and puns, this movie has it by the bucketful.
Yeah.
So.
And if you don't, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast or
any fucking
other
podcast we have. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Andrea, thank you so much for recommending this movie. I had a blast going back there watching it, and more specifically, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Cool.
First time, long time, etc. I already made that joke this week. I don't remember where. Anyway.
All right.
I was there for it.
Yeah. What? I couldn't have been a first time, long time on our own.
Not on our own podcast. Speaking of which, Andrea, where can we find, what is the name of your podcast and where can we find it?
Our podcast is Set Condition 1, a Battlestar Galactica Fancast, and you can find us on Twitter at SetCon1 Podcast, correct? Caleb, help!
That sounds right to me.
I mean, in all fairness, you are the social media manager.
Well, they're different between Instagram, and here's what I'll say is you should go to NightShiftRadio.com, and you can find links to all of our everything, including our blog, which has lots of cool stuff on it, our merch store, lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. And if they wanted to follow you specifically on Twitter, where could they go?
At AQ was taken.
Yeah.
Find me.
Because AQ was taken.
It was taken.
Yeah. So is Night Shift Radio. And it's taken by somebody who hasn't tweeted in 8 years. They don't follow anyone. They've never followed anyone. They have no followers. They've never tweeted, liked, or retweeted. Twitter, I want that fucking account.
We deserve it.
We deserve it.
It is SetCon1 podcast.
SetCon1, and it's the number one, not the word
correct.
one. Yep. So it's SetCon, the number one.
And I do think it's the same on Instagram now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because I remember having to look this up for the show when we awkwardly were outroing and didn't know our own social media.
Oops.
Spectacular.
Listen, I know that the website is setcondition1 throughout the podcast.com.
Yes.
A perfect website.
Which takes
I
up
know
50%.
because the podcast exists. Because I bought that domain.
Because you bought, it's just specifically because of that. Yep. And also it takes up 50% of the character count on every tweet, which is why we had to do a link shortener. Because we're to write out SetCondition1 throughout the podcast.com. And I'm like, well, there goes half my fucking characters on Twitter. I can't post anything. But anyways, thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. We super appreciate it. We'll be back next week with, I don't even know what the fuck we're watching next week. Caleb, you did all of October, right?
I did.
I have not even looked, so I can't even
Is it all spooky?
It's not all spooky.
Oh, but the next one's the Voices with Ryan Reynolds. Yes.
I finally get to watch this movie. I've been wanting to watch this movie forever. Ryan Reynolds and Anna Kendrick.
Yes. So excited.
For those of you who are making it through the third year of this podcast and aren't aware yet, October is my birth month, so I got to pick all the movies.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yep. And I'm excited for this one. We're going to have Ryan Reynolds actually on the show. No, that's not.
I'll be back next week, y'all. And now I said it, so now you have to.
Andrea, get busy on Twitter at Van City Reynolds.
At Van City Reynolds. We need to tag him because
he
needs to be on the show.
He's
a busy guy, but I think he can
he's
make.
He's probably listening right now.
He can make an hour. Of course, he's listening.
Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place is our next podcast.
Oh my god, great fucking show!
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to shorten it later. It just became Two Guys, but it was still fucking good.
Yeah.
But all right. So thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. We super appreciate it, and we will see you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Pizza.
So say we all.